let me share as well. The premise of this book is that to keep people interested, you have to be interested in them, right?
Powerful.
And I'll say that again. To keep people interested, you have to be interested in them. And that means you cannot just obsess over your 2 to 3% conversion rate.
Everybody, welcome to the Utah Business Spotlight. I, of course, am your host, Peter Anthony. Today, I am with a friend, Jonathan Lo. We're going to talk about Jonathan in a minute. He is killing it in the fractional CMO space. He is the CEO of Salt Foundry. It's very, very cool. Can't wait to premiere his book. But first, you got to you've got to subscribe. You've got to get ready to share this, and you need to ask questions. If we're going to keep Utah healthy, man, I want to make sure we're doing it with local Utah businesses. Get invested in Utah businesses. Everything starts here at home. Jonathan, welcome to the show, baby. Brother, you showed me the book. You put it on screen. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find my business at saltfoundrystrategy.com, and my author site for the book is jonathanklo.com. I'm also very active on LinkedIn.
I love it, man. And I love that you know your lane. You're like LinkedIn is your lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things we talk about in our marketing agency is you have to find your lane. So many people want to just be everywhere simultaneously.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack some of your most intimate secrets, but first, baby, you got to tell me about this book. Look at this. This cover is killer. This is first class. No one's ever seen it, because it isn't even out yet. When's it get released?
It's released next week on May 19th, Tuesday, and I'm so excited to premiere this to the world.
Oh, man, May 19th, Tuesday. We'll make sure that we send out a big email blast for you. Are you pushing for that Amazon bestseller?
Absolutely.
Everybody needs that, right, baby?
Everyone needs that.
Yes.
And it's not only, a sense of achievement for myself, but it helps promote the book and the concepts that I believe are so important and helpful in this book. So I'm excited to really get this in the hands of people.
Cool. Well, let's go through the title. Keeping people interested.
Yeah.
It's almost like a duh. And I love how you just put it, that's really the only KPI that matters.
Yeah.
People interested in you, your brand, what you're doing. How did this come to you?
Well, interesting story about the title itself. My book was originally going to be called Empathy Marketing, because really the philosophy that I talk through in the book is that you need to have empathy for your customers, understand where people are at in each stage of the shopping journey, and add value there. Don't just constantly try to sell. And it's companies, and there's a lot of data. I have over 100 references in the book, a lot of stories to inspire you, a lot of data that suggests that those that play more of this infinite game of providing value rather than really focusing on short-term profits and sales end up having sustainable, profitable growth. So I love this idea of empathy and understanding people and adding value, and that was going to be the name of the book. However, I needed to listen to my own advice, and as I was asking people what they thought of the title, marketers were a bit excited, but to your point about who is my target audience, founders, owners of small businesses, right, CEOs of growing companies, that did not resonate with them. They just needed to understand more broadly, what do I do with my marketing? Where are my greatest opportunities? Mm-hmm. And so I did a bunch of research and landed on this title, which was, to me, I thought a dorky pun. Keeping people interested, the only KPI that really matters. But here's the thing, again, the purpose of the title is to get somebody interested in the book to just take the next action. Mm-hmm. So I needed to listen to my own advice, and that's where we landed on this title.
I love it. And it's so, so important. We launched one of my clients. So one of the things that we do as a marketing agency, we launch books. We launched one of my clients' books last night.
Yeah.
He had 120 people show up to his book signing. He only had less than 100 books. Mm-hmm. So they autographed them all.
Yeah.
And he hit 3 Amazon best-selling titles.
Amazing.
Which was super cool. But again, we went through so many iterations of his title, iterations of his cover. You guys knocked it out of the park. I think it's a really strong cover.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. I like that you integrated the blue, which is very
Thank you.
trust color.
Hmm.
So super, super clever.
I wore the blue to be on brand
I
today.
know, right? And I love the arrow and it's really well done. You will learn a tremendous amount by reading the book. But what I really want you to do is find out ways that you can interact with Jonathan. So you're big on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I love that. I mean, being clear as to where you are.
Hmm.
Um, people can find you on LinkedIn. Can they interact with you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, leave comments, message me,
I love it,
especially let
man.
me know if you're from Utah because I respond to everyone from Utah. And for most folks, happy to have a coffee as well.
I love it. And
Hmm.
we'll put a link in the description
Yeah.
where they can buy your book.
Yeah.
Because by the time this comes out, the book will be launched. So that this is the way, is it going to be on Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon,
Oh man, you got to get
paperback
it
and
on.
Kindle.
Oh, I love it. Kindle's great,
Yeah.
right? But you gave me this one. I'm going to
I
keep
gave
it.
you
Is
that.
that cool?
You should keep it.
Thanks,
I'll
man.
sign
You're
it
gonna
for
sign
you
it
as
for me?
well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, baby. It's gonna. I have 3,000 books in my
I
personal
love that you even
library.
know the number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit over
Okay.
3,000, and it vacillates between about 2,400 and about 3,100
Okay.
because I give so many away.
Yeah.
I've read, and I love,
Yeah.
love books. I love stored knowledge.
Hmm.
I love thoughtful ideas that are curated into chapters,
Hmm.
and
And I'm pretty passionate about education too. So I write articles on my website about strategic frameworks, decision tools, mental models. I do intend to start a TikTok coming up soon and just, again, different ways to get messages about how to really help people out there,
yeah.
and really make effective marketing and think about and approach
How did you
business
become a marketer?
problems.
What? And you're not a marketer like the
I'm not a
digital
standard marketer.
marketers. You're a marketing. You're like the new Seth Godin.
That needs to be. I will exactly take that quote and quote you everywhere. Thank you for saying that. I had somebody read an early version as well, and she said, "This book gives me Simon Sinek vibes." And I
I know
also was just like,
Simon's
"Please
a
write that in the
stud.
review." So
Yeah.
thank you so much. My path to marketing was actually quite fascinating. My undergraduate degree was in electrical engineering at the University of Illinois. And near the end of college, I learned about global poverty issues and felt really compelled to do something about it. And out of that, I discovered this organization called World Vision. I write about it just a little bit in my book as well, that works on alleviating global poverty through sustainable community development. They do incredible work. And I ended up taking a fellowship program with them at their US headquarters in Seattle.
I want to say I think doesn't Muhammad Yunus work with them?
I'm sure he has done work in the micro lending space. Yeah.
Oh, he
He
won a Nobel
pioneered.
Prize.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
would say, he's absolutely does, but it's super cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, World Vision covered, they've been around since 1950. They cover everything from clean water, food security, education, anti-human trafficking work, long-term sustainable like economic development, all the things that you would need for a community and for the individuals to thrive, they cover. And what's amazing about them as well is after 20 years, they try to dig out because they've empowered local individuals to grow themselves up out of poverty. And if I remember my stats correctly, 97% of their staff are from the countries that they grew up in. So it's not just white knight saviors from the first world coming in. It's really people who are local experts and with some resources helping train up locals to take ownership.
And this was your inspiration.
So I just felt so compelled to do something, and I loved the expertise behind this organization that I took a fellowship program with them for a year.
Wow.
And straight out of college, and I had a living stipend of $1,000 a month. So I made $12,000 that year, where the summer before I had my engineering internship in Texas, and I made, I think, about that amount in 3 months. And it was just such a compelling organization. I felt called and compelled to stay. So a few different times I thought, if I stay here, I'm forgetting all my engineering. That math is difficult. But that's where I ended up accidentally learning marketing. I helped grow their Facebook to 1 million followers, which back in the day is significant.
Still significant.
And you learn marketing so fast when a single post goes out, something's wrong if within a few seconds, a few hundred people haven't interacted with it. You get feedback and you learn very quickly. So I was able to learn organic marketing there. Then I switched to product, helped launch their first mobile website. And that website, mobile optimized website, increased mobile acquisitions by 50%. Then I ended up managing a multi-million-dollar ad spend with them. And
super stud,
yeah,
right? He's very cool. Jonathan, you're very cool,
thank you.
right? The new Seth Godin, right? So,
Well, here's the thing about nonprofits too, because more of my story goes into the for-profit and e-commerce and all that. But the thing about nonprofits is, if I can sell nothing to somebody, can't I help sell something to more people? And what I mean by that is, for a nonprofit, you actually don't tangibly get a product. The job to be
purchasing a
done,
feeling.
essentially, you're purchasing a feeling,
Yeah.
you're purchasing the promise of an impact,
Mhm.
but nothing like physically intangible for yourself.
No,
And
in general, no.
and obviously the impact is real. Otherwise, you should not give any nonprofit, your money
But
if
the
they can't
impact is very
demonstrate value.
small. The larger the nonprofit,
Yeah.
the smaller the impact with your direct access because they have an infrastructure.
There's an infrastructure. But what's interesting about that is, and I have certain perspectives, and all people are just doing incredible work around the world, small and large. The large guys can sometimes get more done more efficiently and more effectively
Absolutely.
because of infrastructure.
And economy to scale.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like there's just a greater opportunity. They have greater leverage. They have stronger lobbyists,
Yeah.
right? But so often, and that's another side of marketing, right? Is making sure that the world knows what you do, but more specifically, how you're going to go about doing it, so you have the buy-in,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And that's part of the messaging. I love the understanding of keeping people interested.
Mhm.
Let's get back to that because the
Yeah,
book's
let's
coming
do
out. So share with me a cool story of a small piece of a human being that you implemented this strategy with that made a difference in their marketing.
Sure. Well, and let me share as well, the premise of this book is that to keep people interested, you have to be interested in them, right?
Powerful.
And I'll say that again. To keep people interested, you have to be interested in them. And that means you cannot just obsess over your 2 to 3% conversion rate. One thing I talk about as well is for an e-commerce company that I worked for, very large scale, multi-billion dollar in revenue, we did obsess over the 3% conversion rate. And it makes sense, right? Because one BIP, like 1/100th of a percent difference, makes hundreds of thousands of dollars annually difference in the conversion rate.
Sure.
Right. But what we learned also is what I saw with them is that we did a ton of customer research, and whenever we were able to really prioritize and see, who are we truly serving and what are their core needs? What is their job to be done? Right? This job to be done framework is this concept of what role are you actually serving in someone's life?
Sure.
Because people are constantly hiring and firing services and products. Do you really need a kitchen knife, or do you need the ability to prepare a healthy meal for your family quickly?
Right.
That is the job to be done.
And then the job to be done moves towards the outcome. Like if you read the book Story Brand, right? It's the idea, am I actually hanging a picture? No, my goal is to get back to the football game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the outcome of the job to be
Yeah.
done? And then as I look at it, tell me how you feel about this. In our marketing, we believe that the most important thing in the interest component is when I, the customer, believe that you believe what I believe.
Okay.
Then we're connected.
All right. Yeah.
Because the idea is, if you're looking for customer alignment, you have to present it in a way that they believe that you believe it.
Yeah.
So that this way they're interested in you. And in order to achieve that, now I have to integrate your book. I have to be interested in them.
Yeah.
Or they won't believe that I believe what they believe.
Yeah.
They won't even know it exists.
Yeah.
And they'll go right past me.
I love that. And, that reminds me of something. I believe it was Simon Sinek who said, a powerful brand means someone will choose you even if your product is inferior to someone else's.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because there's so much to marketing. And I talk about in the book as well, the value cost price model, or value price cost model, VPC, which is this idea that at some point there's the cost of the product, there's the price that you sell it at, and then there's the value to the customer. And everything only works if those numbers align, right? And so between the cost and your selling price, that's your margin. But it's marketing and brand that make the difference, that allow for the perceived value of the customer to be even higher, right? No one will buy and spend your price if they don't believe they're getting even more value out of this.
And the value is very perceived and it's an emotional perception.
Yes.
So if you look at a piece of Louis Vuitton, it is basically canvas covered in plastic with leather sides.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But the value, the perceived value of holding that piece of Louis Vuitton, of displaying it, or like we like watches, right?
Yeah.
But our phones tell better time.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, like you have your Omega on today. I have my Aaron Layla. But it's what that says about you. It's what every time I look at, like, I chose this watch today to honor a friend, because I'm like, man, you know what? I have all these watches. I could put on a Rolex, I could put on a gold Omega, but I was like, this is the watch today.
Yeah.
This is because I just love it.
Yeah.
And it gives me an emotional connection to the person who created it.
Yeah.
And I love that emotional connection more than the value of the watch.
Yeah.
The cost value.
Louis Vuitton and LVMH do an incredible job, right, at building this brand. There's a TikToker who is a leather worker himself, and he went viral for breaking down, literally cutting apart
the Louis
Vuittons and Hermes and all these things. And he's like, this is where the stitching is actually good. This is where the material, and the ultimate, the aha moment every time he does this is that the materials are not worth that much. And sometimes the quality of craftsmanship is not worth that much. And so what you're paying for, and it is a true value. We are human beings. We are not robots. And so the psychological elements of how a product makes you feel absolutely matter. And so that's part of the power of brand. And so what I do in the book is I break down and I create a framework for helping people understand, helping brands understand, hey, how do you actually help people through the transitions of the different stages of the shopping journey?
Yeah,
right.
That's cool.
And so,
and that's in the book.
That's in the book, and that's how this entire book is framed.
Guys, you've got to get this book. That's a killer framework.
Yeah, and you know what's fascinating is I even talk about the different stages of the shopping funnel. And as a marketer, I avoided using the marketing funnel because it just seems too simplistic. People are more complex and actions are not linear. However, when I talk with folks, the funnel is just such an easy way to understand the general move. And so I wanted to help people perceive the differences in how to transition between stages. So there's awareness, consideration, purchase. I also add repeat and advocate. But here's what I do in the book. I don't just talk about what those stages are. I have an entire framework on what is the job to be done to transition people between the stages. All right, so let me share from the book a little here. From unawareness, and by the way, unawareness means you might not even be problem aware. You might not even know that you have an issue. I share a story, let me take this aside. I shared a story where I was house sitting for my friends, and I never grew up with a dog, and I was house sitting this wonderful dog, Coco, and we would hang out together, we'd go on walks, she was happy and healthy, and I would feed her twice a day, and this dog ate the same thing every day, and I thought, why don't they make dog food for humans? Like, my life is busy and I wish I had the option to eat a fully nutritional meal very simplistically and just to keep it around. I became problem aware, right? I was not familiar with that problem necessarily, even though there were times I was skipping meals and not getting the right nutrition. So that's what I mean from unawareness to awareness. But so in the stages from unawareness to awareness, you need inspiration, and the implication is to capture attention. From awareness to consideration, the core need, the job to be done as a brand for the customer is confidence, and the implication is to build trust. From consideration to purchase, the core need is ease, and the implication is to drive action. From purchase to repeat, the core need is satisfaction, and the implications is to create delight. And from repeat to advocate, the core need is purpose, and the implication is to spark evangelism. So each of the chapters of this book break down how do you take those implications, how do you take those actions to help people move and transition.
I love that, baby. That's cool. That's really, really cool. What I would share with you is this is going, and the audience, this book is going to be super impactful. It's going to be well known within the marketing community. But here's a stat that's interesting, like sales. 85% of salespeople have never read a single sales book. 85% of owners have never read a marketing book. And 80% of what you do as a business owner is marketing.
Yeah.
Read this book.
And that's why I say, and I make a case, and I even talk about key performance indicators, standard KPIs. But if you can keep people interested,
everything goes away.
Sales solves everything, right? You will figure out, you will hire the right people. You'll be able to solve operational issues, product quality issues. If you have sales, if you can capture interest, that solves everything.
I love it, man. So first and foremost, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Peter.
This was fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it went like this. And
I know,
we put two marketers together and we could just keep talking. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, people who are following the Utah Business Spotlight, here's some great news. This is coming up to closing in on our 160th episode. We're really excited. We have been seen millions and millions and millions of times in the Utah area alone. What I need you to do is I need you to subscribe. Most importantly, please take a minute and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Man, keep people interested. Jonathan, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Where can
people find you again?
Find me on jonathankalo.com and on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, baby. I love it. He knows his lane.
Yep.
We'll see you soon.